Here we go, 10 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. We find ourselves again at the beginning of our practice. Again, emphasizing how important it is just to show up no matter what right now to the teachings of yoga. We're going to start with chanting Om and Shanti as a way to begin to illuminate our true selves and gaining confidence and steadiness and in love. Think of Om as a great eraser for your mind. If you just want to listen, that's perfectly fine. If you'd like to chant along, please do. Next, we're going to chant Shanti 3 times to remind ourselves to remember peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then we're going to chant from the Jivamukti chant book. It's page 4, number 4, and then number 5. Number 4 is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions in my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. And we'll do call and response. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Together. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May the thoughts, words, and actions in my own life contribute in some way. May the thoughts, words, and actions in my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. And to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Finally, the Guru mantra. It's Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri, Guruve Namaha. Translation, recognize the teacher everywhere and everything at every time. Guru Brahma, together. Guru Brahma. So I find myself lately falling into the Bhagavad Gita, right? Very powerful text. Translates as this song of God or a love song of God. love song to God. And it's a conversation between Arjuna, who's the main character of the book, and he is the warrior who finds himself about to go to battle against the other side in this war between two families, two sides. And when he gets onto the battlefield, getting ready to call his army into battle, he looks across at the other side and he sees his teachers, his friends, his relatives, people he loves that he's grown up with. And he has this crisis in action. And the way I always think about it, it's like the Matrix, where there's that stop animation and they do that 360 view of everything around, you know? And that's kind of what's happening. Everything stops. You know, it says the butterfly's wings stop flapping. And Krishna is there with him, and he kind of stops everything so that they can have this conversation about Arjuna's dilemma. And what Arjuna tells Krishna is, I can't go on. I want to get down into a fetal position. I want to surrender. I don't want to take action anymore. Please help me, Krishna. Krishna is God, right? Krishna is the Lord. Krishna is our highest self, our best possible consciousness. And Krishna says, well, you can take action in this time, and I'm going to show you how through the teachings of yoga. So today I found a couple of verses in the 6th chapter on the yoga of meditation. Where Krishna tells Arjuna, he says, it is impossible to practice yoga effectively if you eat or sleep either too much or too little. And then it's followed by the 17th verse. But if you are moderate in eating, playing, sleeping, staying awake, and avoiding extremes in everything you do, you will see these practices eliminate all your pain and suffering. In a simpler language, this is Swami Satchidananda. He says, yoga is the middle path, moderation in everything. You have everything on the middle path, including peace of mind and tranquility. By eating too much, you just satisfy the body and the senses. This means you identify yourself with your body and your senses. You just want to satisfy them. By not eating, you don't satisfy the body, but you may satisfy your ego. Look at me, I fasted for the past 10 days. This is just another form of ego satisfaction. Instead, poise in everything. There are two examples. You don't need to satisfy the body, the senses, or your ego. Do not do it just for the joy of doing it, and then you maintain your yoga. Yoga, not achieving yoga. You're not achieving yoga. You are yoga already, right? I say that a lot. You are the destination. But to disturb the yogi by over or under eating. It's the golden mean, moderate in eating and recreation, temperament in action, sleep and wakefulness. Then yoga becomes the destroyer of pain. To destroy pain means to uncover your yoga, which means ease. When you lose your yoga, you fall into roga, which means disease. This is not to say it's best to take a little bit of anything and everything. That's not moderation. You don't take a little poison in moderation. There are many foul things lying on the road. Would you eat them in moderation? So the theme that comes up a lot for us in yoga is this idea of the middle road, the middle path. You know, last month we talked about the suggestions that Sharon was giving us about how to take care of ourselves, to get proper sleep, to have a proper diet, to not spend too much time consuming television, to get out in nature. All these things are going to give us balance, stability in the body and mind so that yoga is going to be accessible and that we are going to destroy all of our sorrow and pain. And so, like Arjuna, I had a little crisis of faith. I guess today is Saturday, so it was Thursday night. I physically felt bad. Something wasn't right. I was kind of feeling discouraged, distracted. Couldn't really put my finger on it. I realized I hadn't been sleeping too well the 2 previous nights, I get very rajasic. I get into action. I do a lot of things, and I think it affects my sleep sometimes. And then the next morning, I sat in my meditation, which I do here. I put a picture of my mother, Jeannie, next to her beloved picture of Mary and her statue of Jesus that I took from her home, and just sit with her. And then I realized, because of the pandemic, I kind of put on the back burner or on the shelf my grief for her passing in the middle of February. And she passed like a couple of days before her birthday, so it was the 19th, something like that, 18th of February. And through the pandemic, I just got into action, doing all these things. Again, kind of falling into this rajasic kind of pattern, right? Remembering the 3 qualities of Maya. There's tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. Sattvic is what we're aiming for. That's the middle path. That's clean, it's energized, it's not too high, too low, it's in the middle. Tamasic would be the other extreme, sleeping all the time, eating too much, just like totally weighing down the body and mind. And then rajasic is when you're just too energetic, maybe not eating enough, a little flighty, lightheaded. And so as I sat in meditation, I began to weep. And that was what I was needing. I was needing to get into the grief. About my mother passing. And then after the meditation, it was about an hour, I felt so much better. I felt lighter. I felt my appetite come back. I had the good night's rest. And then I found these verses, and it's moderation in all things. And in this time where we find it difficult, because it's a long game, right? We're not in some short rewarded period. We're not going to do this mitigation and this social distancing and all these things that we've learned to do just so we get a quick result. We're realizing that's not how this is going to work. We have to be in it for the long haul. So Patanjali gives us tapas. Do things that are difficult. Be in it for the long term. Right? Don't worry about quick results. And you're going to be able to then, in that middle road, find moderation in what you eat, in how you sleep, in what you consume. And it's amazing. When I turn to the practices of yoga, I dig a little bit deeper into myself, into my soul, and I am able to recommit, to start again. Because the important thing that we learn from all of these beautiful teachings is we can't communicate something that we don't have ourselves. So how am I supposed to sit in front of you and tell you these beautiful teachings of yoga if I'm not practicing myself? So it's important right now. Show up for yourself. Right? Think of that ego. It needs your help. The higher self is here to be a friend to that smaller self. It's going to teach you maturity in action. It's going to show you the middle path. It's going to show you to have moderation in what you eat and how you do anything right now. So I feel recharged, re-energized, ready to commit. And the last thing I'll say is, tomorrow's Mother's Day. And I think that's part of what was coming up for me. So, I have a living mother in my house, my wife, so I'm going to honor her tomorrow. I'm going to somehow motivate, bribe the kids tonight to get up early with me and just go wild on the house, clean it up, make it beautiful, so she doesn't have to do any of that tomorrow. And really just honor her, right? Be in the middle path on Mother's Day by honoring the mother that is right in front of me, right? That's from the Guru chant. So that's what we got today. No music in class today. You can go to Spotify before class if you haven't already and just grab one of the playlists that I put up. You can get it through the Nandi Spotify account. There's a link to my account. And we'll begin there. Okay? I'm so happy we're all here together, and let's see if we can use our physical body so that we can be a friend to ourselves and get into the breathing, to the purification practice of sweating. All right, let's come to the front of the mat. Big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Hands to prayer in front of your heart. Just close your eyes here for a moment and offer up a practice. If you want to make it to your mother or to a mother, I'm going to offer this up to the mothers in my life. Think of my mother, Jeannie, to my grandmother, Hilda Jean, to my other grandmother, Jeanette. And think of my mother-in-law, Lee, who left her body about 10 years ago. And think about Amanda and her sisters, all the mothers, all the students at class I know. Think of them and their ability to be a mother to their children, to their family. And what a blessing, what a beautiful gift. And then begin to create your audible breathing, Ujjayi breath, breathing in and breathing out. As we control the breath and slow it down, so does the mind slow down, and that middle path opens up. On the exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, interlace your hands behind, draw your arms long overhead. Inhale, hands down, step back with your right foot into lunge, look up. Exhale, your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly roll forward to plank position. Exhale, bend the elbows a little bit or a lot, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. And then through bent knees, push your seat to your heels. Come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward into lunge, look up. Exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, interlace your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, step back with your left foot into lunge, look up. Exhale, your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward into lunge, look up. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly. Hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead. Exhale, release your hands to prayer. Closing the eyes, pausing in action. I realized as I was crying yesterday morning that that's part of the middle path. We can't not cry at all, and we can't just cry all the time. There has to be a middle path for experiencing grief and loss. As I sat in my meditation weeping, when I was finished, I opened my eyes and I saw the blue sky. I remembered my teaching from one of my teachers who said, I will always be with you, just look into the blue sky and I will be there with you. And I saw my mother there. It was very comforting to be with her. On the exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, lift the thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind, draw the arms long. Inhale, hands down, step back, right foot, look up. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward into lunge. Exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, step back with your left foot into lunge. Exhale, your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward into lunge. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly. Hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead arch back. Exhale, release your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Close your eyes, pause in action. Breathing in and breathing out. You know, it's in the quiet moments where we stop, we pause in action, that we're able to be present with ourselves and recommit to the tapas, to the difficulties. Recommit to taking that middle path. Breathing in and breathing out. Remember, Sharon says we should try to remember God as much as we can throughout the day. Pausing in action gives us that opportunity to remember the highest. On the exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back. Slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. And we're going to hold here. Today, take any variation that you feel most steady and joyful in. If you want to separate palms, you can do that. But know that when you press palms together, you're creating a mood, a mudra. It's a prayer. And I'm lifting it up to something higher. Asking for some moderation in my day, in my activities. Asking for remembrance of the highest. Stay here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're coming into warrior two next. On the exhale, open the arms wide, second warrior pose. You can think of, you're taking your consciousness, your highest self, you're cutting the head off of ignorance, right? That thing that's making you want to eat a lot and stay up late and kind of indulge the body or the mind. Take a moment here, track the knee over the ankle. Keep the front thigh parallel. As you reach in both directions, try to relax the shoulders. Complete the pose with your gaze over the middle finger or close the eyes. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale. Exhale, five. We're going to move into the third warrior pose from here. You're going to begin to turn the hips forward, so you've cut the head off of your own ignorance, your own darkness. You grab that head, and for the third warrior pose, lift the back foot off the floor. You're going to reach out in all directions, and you throw that head of ignorance into the fire of devotion, right? And then you reach out in all directions. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale, help me remember the blue sky. For two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale. Exhale, five. From here, you're going to bend your front knee, place your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. You have an option to stay here or go through the vinyasa on your own. Link breath and movement. We'll try the other side. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down. Lift the prayer overhead. Again, you're crashing through the ceiling, straight up to where your ignorance, your darkness lives. But you have the prayer, you're armed with the remembrance of God or something higher. Relax the forehead, make any adjustments you need to make. Hold and breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. So you've crashed through the ceiling of your own ignorance, your own avidya. You land on the floor, you open the arms wide, and you cut the head off of that ignorance, right? Taking the darkness and just cutting it off at the head. Bending your front knee, reach in both directions. I'm just paraphrasing a story in yoga. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Relax the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then we pivot the hips forward. We take that head we've just cut off of our own ignorance, our own darkness, and we throw it into the fire of liberation, right? This too is going to be my teacher. This too is going to ignite that flame inside of me. This too is going to open my eyes to what's already there, right? There's no destination. I'm already it. I am the destination, residing in the self. 2 more breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Bend your front knee. Place your hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or go through the asana on your own, like breath and movement. And then downward facing dog is a neutral pose. Or you can close the eyes, shake the head out, flutter the lips. So it was amazing. I had a lot of long conversations yesterday after my meditation. Talked to quite a few people for over a half an hour in New York, some people here locally. And I kind of shared what was going on. It was important for me to communicate, to be in the moment with what was going on with my grief about my mother. People were so helpful. You know, I reached out and people reached right back. It was so beautiful. And they shared their experience, their stories of mother. Let's come back to downward facing dog if you haven't already. On your next inhale, you're going to roll forward to plank position. You can place your right hand underneath the right shoulder. You can bring your right knee to the floor, lift the left arm up, or flex the right foot, straight right leg, stack left foot on top of right, lift the left arm up. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. One pointed focus. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, place your left hand down. Place your left hand directly underneath the left shoulder, and then come to the left knee for more support. Extend the right arm up, or flex the left foot. Straighten the right leg, left leg, stack right on top of left. Holding here, inhale. Exhale 1, one pointed focus. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, place your right hand down, plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale back, push your seat to your heels. Come back, downward facing dog. And then shake the head out, flutter the lips. Let's walk the feet towards the front of the mat. When you get there, separate the feet about hip distance apart. And then you're going to take a standing forward bend of your choice, yogi's choice. You can take hold of the big toes like I am, with the first 2 fingers of either hand. Take hold of either elbow, any variation you'd like here. Remember that forward bending is about letting go of the past. We're not just tucking it away and not dealing with it, but really going through it and then letting it go. Breathing here. Remember, this is yoga asana. It's about liberation, not roga asana, right? We heard that word in Swami Satchidananda's commentary. Not binding, not being in bondage, but liberating instead. Releasing the weights, the chains of our ignorance, so that we can bask in the light of the highest self. I love you, Mom. Glad that you were able to transition out of your body. You are now with your beloved Mary and Jesus. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. On your next inhale, you're going to look up. Exhale, move your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come all the way up to a standing position. Step or jump your feet together, hands to prayer. Pausing for a breath here. Let's chant Om together one time. Inhale a breath. Om. When we chant Om, it helps us remember that there is a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything that we are taking action in. So with this pandemic we're in, it's the beginning. Right? We're just at the beginning. So we need to be here. Don't rush ahead. Stay here, be steady, be joyful. Maybe in the grief of my mother, I'm still in the beginning because I put it off for a little bit. And then be okay with being here, steady and joyful. On your exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Keeping your left heel turned up, step your right foot forward between your hands into lunge. Lift the arms alongside the ears. See if you can bend the front knee as you push the back heel away. Try to relax the shoulders, lift up through the fingertips, lift your gaze. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Getting ready for the twist. If you want to bring the back knee to the floor for more support, you can do that. Inhale, reach long through the left side. Exhale, twist to the right side. Hook left elbow to the outside of the knee, hands to prayer. If you're taking a hand variation or binding, come into that on your own today. Hold and breathe. And that's 5. Inhale, place your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog, option to stay here. Or inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Let's try the other side. Right heel stays up. Step the left foot forward. Lift the arms alongside the ears. Again, bend the front knee, extend through the back heel, reach up through the fingertips as you relax the shoulders, lift your gaze. Right? Practicing mindfulness, practicing being in the moment, positioning the body so you can get beyond the body. And this is positioning your gaze so you can get beyond the mind. Think of it as meditation in motion. Think of that middle path that you can find yourself on whenever you commit to it. That is the tapas. One more breath, breathing in. And breathing out, getting ready for the twist again. Bring the back knee to the floor if that gives you more support. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left side. Hook elbow to knee. Find your bind here. If you want to take an arm variation or come into your full bind, do that on your own. Hold and breathe. On your next inhale, place your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. And just take a few breaths here. If you want to come into child's pose for a few breaths, it's always an option. You're not trying to force anything. We're not trying to create more bondage of the self. We're trying to liberate the self. So try to find a pose where you can brighten up from, where you can illuminate up from, where you can rest the thinking mind. All right, let's meet everybody in child's pose if you're not there already. So Shirsasana, headstand practice, every day. If you're just at the level of doing the half headstand practice, that's beautiful. You work on that half pose. We never kick up into this pose. We never want to risk injuring our neck. So please be thoughtful. Please be mature to take the action that you are able to take. Not try to leap ahead. Be in the beginning of your practice. Don't try to rush to the end. So interlace fingers, elbows a little bit closer than shoulder distance. Top of the head on the floor. You're going to tuck the toes under and straighten the legs. Here you're just going to walk your feet in as much as you can. At this point I want everyone to lift their head off the floor an inch so you feel 100% of the weight in the arms. And once you think about 80% of the weight in the arms, just lower the head that 20%. Shoulder blades are still working away from the ears. That's how much you're pressing down. Now, if you're at the point where you feel like you understand the balance and stability here and you want to draw one knee into your chest, come onto the tiptoes of the left foot, practice here. If you can lift the left foot off the floor without hopping up, practice the egg shape. If you're ready to come all the way up, come all the way up. But find one part in that sequence where you could be steady and joyful for a few minutes. Think of that middle path. Is that a great idea to call my brother on Mother's Day, right? Share that part of that day with him. Because he lost his mother too. She might be lost, but we will find her again, right? Through the yoga practice. Oh, there she is in the blue sky. Hi, Mom. If you love your yoga practices, they will love you back. This is my experience. Let's inhale a breath here. Exhale, begin to lower down. You're going to come into child's pose for homework. 50 more breaths in headstand. Take a few breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. You know, the whole Gita could be summed up as letting go. That's what Arjuna is learning from Krishna through the teachings of yoga. Just to let go. It's part of the middle path. Letting go. Moderation in everything we do. Using that as a way to let go. Letting go of our own thoughts so we can remember the highest. Practice of letting go. On your next inhale, you're going to come up. We're going to set up for hero's pose, Virasana. So knees are together. You can pull the calves a little bit away, and you want to sit on the floor between your feet. Now, if that's difficult, you could use a block. I'm going to use a block today. You see kids sit like this all the time, right? It's a natural seat. So find the pose where nothing's complaining. I'm having a little left knee issue lately, so I'm going to sit on a block and kind of back off a little bit. That would be the middle road for me today. Instead of trying to push forward, stay away from that macho yoga, right? Nothing to prove, no one to show off to. Instead, look for that middle place where you can be steady and joyful. And once you find your seated hero's pose, just rest the hands. I'm going to take Chin Mudra, add an extra element, bowing the pointer finger of the ego to the higher self, the thumb. And turn those down, or you could lift them up. Ujjayi breathing here. It's okay to experience loss. It's okay to experience grief. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be experiencing some vulnerability. It's all part of the middle path. Now we're going to take a twist from here. You're going to bring your left hand onto the right knee. You're going to twist open to the right side. You can bring your right hand to the floor. Even on a block here would be helpful. Or you could place the right hand to the inner left hip crease. Hold and breathe here. On your next inhale, you're going to come center. You're going to twist to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand to the floor behind you, or reach around with your left hand and grab hold of the inner right hip crease. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist for one, breathing here. Inhale, come center. From here, you're going to come forward onto your hands and knees. And just take a moment here as the knees kind of recover, some new blood flows through them. You're going to straighten your right leg. You're going to flex the right foot and just open up the back of that right leg. Push the heel away. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. The cat was locked in the other room. I could hear her asking to get out. For 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Release the right knee down. Now you're going to flex the left foot, tuck the left toes under, and open up the back of that left leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, breathing in and breathing out. Release the left knee down. From here, you're going to tuck the toes under, straighten the legs, come to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you're going to roll forward to plank position. You're going to exhale, lower knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. And we're going to hold here. You have the option to bring fingertips in line with the lower ribs or lift the hands off the floor an inch. Try to press the feet down so the kneecaps are lifted off the floor. Keep opening the chest, looking forward. Inhale and exhale. Ujjayi breath. One more breath. Release down. If you want to adjust yourself on the mat, do that. Bring the arms alongside the body. Turn the face to one side. And practice letting go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Forehead down, Shalabhasana next. This is with straight legs. For a variation today, you can interlace your hands behind you. On inhale, lift your head, chest, straight legs off the floor. Come up. Breathing here. Exhale, release down, turn your face to one side, let go here, relax, and let go. When we establish connection, we're on the middle road, we realize that there is room for sadness, there is room for loss and letting go. There is room for remembering God. And there's room for suffering, that we can handle suffering right now. Not too much, don't go overboard, right? Don't try to avoid it completely. But just be hand in hand with it as you trudge the road of your action. Right? Middle road. Keep steadily moving forward towards the light. Okay, forehead down, bend your knees, grab hold of the outside of either ankle. On inhale, you're going to lift your head, chest, knees off the floor, come up. Inhale. and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release down, turn your face to the opposite side. Take a breath here, relax and let go. Forehead down, bend your knees. Yogi's choice, take hold of the outside or inside of the ankle. So on the inhale, lift your head, chest, knees off the floor, come up. For back bending is about letting go of the future, right? Being in the moment, opening the heart wide. Unafraid, not fearful or worried. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, release down, turn your face to the opposite side. Again, take a moment, relax and let go. And always, turning over onto your back, and always you can consider Mother's Day, part of it is Mother Earth, right? You can think of her and all of her beautiful gifts that she gives us daily. I always think of the hot shower when I've had a hard day. And nothing better than to get under the hot water and allow it to purify me. All right, we're going to start with a half wheel. Bend your knees, heels close and toward your seat. Feet are hip distance apart and parallel. On the inhale, lift your lower, middle, upper back off the floor. Interlace hands here underneath you. Draw the arms long so you can really elevate the hips. If you want to slide a block here underneath your sacrum, take more restorative, that's fine. And releasing your seat down. Let's bring our hands to prayer in front of our hearts. And just think of one memory of a mother to offer up in this next wheel. I'm going to think of my grandmother, Hilda Jean. She was the one that taught me about changing my underwear, clipping my nails, being clean every day, putting on clean clothes every day, to present myself in a way that was pleasing, right? That I would welcome people towards me because of my hygiene. Thank you, Hilda Jean. Love you so much. Half wheel on your own, full wheel, hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Push into your hands and feet, come to the top of the head or come all the way up. 5 breaths here. All right, bend over backwards for that memory of that mother. And then releasing down, taking a moment here. Bringing your hands to prayer. Again, think of another memory. I'm thinking of my mother. She used to love to take vacations to places like Martha's Vineyard, to Nantucket. She loved the ocean. She loved the outdoors. And when we'd find ourselves in these places, there was no television, no radio. And what she taught me was how to play cards. And she taught me Gin Rummy 500. And we played it over and over and over again. She taught me about strategy and patience and joy and engaging in something that helps stimulate the mind. And it was fun. So thank you, Mom, for teaching me strategy and gameplay and that fellowship together. Half wheel on your own. Full wheel, hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Pushing into your hands and feet. Come all the way up. 5 to 8 breaths here. And finally, hands to prayer. The last mother I'm going to think of is Sharon Gannon. What Sharon taught me was to think of all species worthy of love and of nonviolence, right? To adopt a different kind of lifestyle that was more supportive to all of the mothers out there. And not just to be selfish and think of my own mother, but to offer up that love and service to all of the mothers. So I offer this final wheel up to Sharon Gannon. Love you, Sharon. Half wheel on your own, full wheel hands alongside the ears. Underneath the shoulders, come up 5 to 8 of your own breaths. Bend over backwards for that love of your mother. Once you've come down, gonna draw your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze in. Rocking a little bit from side to side on the lower spine. Let's take a twist here. Come center. Knees drop over to the left side. Bring your gaze over to the right side. Again, practice of letting go. Position your body. Let go of control. Surrender to the middle path. Breathing in. Next inhale, bring your knees center. Exhale, bring your knees over to the right side. Bring your gaze to the left. The beautiful thing about the Bhagavad Gita is that Arjuna is the student that is ready for the teachings of yoga. Right? He is ripe. He is ready to hear this beautiful discourse on how to let go and realize the self. Inhale, let, and exhale, go. And your next inhale, come center. Draw your knees into your chest. Then we're going to rock up to a seated position. You could rock a few times to get there. You're going to straighten your legs. Come on to the front of the sit bones. You're going to inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Take hold of whatever you can get here. Bowing forward, inhale and exhale. Through the yoga practices, we tap into this never-ending well of compassion, faith, of hope that we can offer to others, but we can also offer to ourselves. Inhaling, come up. If anyone was to see me yesterday crying, they would probably come up and go, "Are you okay?" You know, like the crying was as simple as something was wrong. But if they just sat down and were with me and just witnessed what I was going through, they would have just been like, wow, I want to be a cheerleader for Jeremy. Look at him letting it go. Look at him relieving himself. Look at him purifying that body that is hurting, right? Look at him purifying that mind that is needing to purify through the tears. So maybe next time I see somebody crying, I'm just going to go sit next to them and meditate. All right, from here we're gonna come into Tadasana, bend the knees a little bit, feet into a diamond shape. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, folding forward. Hold and breathe here. Nice. Inhale, come up. We're just going to do a really quick drive through the last couple of poses. You can just come into reclining goddess pose if you like at this point, or just follow along with me. We're going to come through halasana, feet overhead. You're going to place your hands firmly on your back, and you're going to lift the legs up for shoulder stand. Try to keep a little space around the throat. Keep the legs lifted. Keep establishing flat, hands on your back. Steady your gaze. See, in Jiva Mukti, we do a lot of inversions. We turn up a lot of times in the practice. And it's a way to practice turning our lives upside down in a safe way so that we can adhere to the wisdom, to the teachings of yoga. Right? I always want to try to find that part of myself that is mature in action. The one that is steady in the self, established in love, established in thinking of others and being of service. That is the one that I love. That's what Krishna would say to Arjuna. That is the one that I love. That is the one that is dear to me. He says a lot in the Gita too, because I love you. And then he gives the teachings. So in all these things, if we're established in them, turn our lives upside down, we can handle it. We have room for sadness. Okay, inhale a breath here. Exhale, lower the feet overhead into halasana. If your feet reach the floor, interlace your hands, draw your arms long in one direction as you push the heels in the opposite direction. From here, you're going to release your hands. You're going to gently roll down onto your back, and you're going to come into reclining goddess pose. And join everyone else. Feet together, knees falling out to either side of the mat. This will be our counter pose to shoulder stand. And they're going to rub our hands together, create some heat. We're going to place both hands on the chest, on Anahata chakra, and just breathe into that expansive nature of the chest. This beautiful capacity to give love and to receive love. My friend Eric, I was talking to yesterday, and he said, after I shared with him about my mom, that his mother had died 2 years ago, and recently, before the pandemic, he was in a yoga class in New York City. And after kind of the middle of the class, after some pretty strenuous exercise, he just started crying, because he realized he hadn't really dealt with a lot of that grief of his mother's passing. And the yoga teacher came to him who knew him well and was like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm perfectly fine. Yes, this feels just right. And she let him go to do his thing. I thought it was just so beautiful. The practices open us up to part of ourselves that, because of our thinking mind, we are closed off to. Bring one hand to the forehead. Just make that connection, heart to mind. Let's do an Om here. Inhale a breath. Om. Love and accept ourselves the way we exactly are. God, let me love and accept myself the way you already do. Hands to the outsides of your knees. Bring your knees together. From here, we're going to come into short Shavasana. Try to separate the feet hip distance apart, arms alongside the body, palms to turn up. And just take a moment here. Allow Mother Earth to hold you, to support you, to guide you, to nourish you, to allow you to rest, to let go. So I think it's about 10 o'clock, so I'm going to suggest that you stay lying down in your Shavasana. Or you can come back to it after we finish our program here. I'm going to come to my comfortable seated position. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Bringing our hands to prayer in front of our hearts, we give thanks to all of our teachers, especially the inner guiding teacher, the Sadguru, bowing forward, Om Bolo, Sadguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Inhaling, come up. Thank you, everyone. Very beautiful to be here with you today to share these teachings about Mother in the yoga philosophy. For homework, 20 minutes meditation. Do it. Do 20 minutes. You can do that today. There's a workshop on Wednesday. Teacher, join Master Jivamukti teacher Yogeshwari for a special heart opening and backbending online workshop that enables one to discover how opening up the heart helps us deal with the challenges we are facing as world citizens. This workshop includes chanting, spiritual discussion, and an asana sequence, which brings awareness and openness to the hip flexors, spine, shoulders, and chest. Systematically exploring the components of the front body, you will learn how to integrate this awareness to find more ease and sustainability for your back bends. And it's amazing. She's going to do all of that in 2 hours, and she's going to give you all of that for $25. You can sign up at the Mind Body online at Nandi, and I'll be there. My son's birthday, he's going to be 16 that day. He'll be there. My wife Amanda will be there, and my daughter Gloria. We're all going to be there for this beautiful workshop. I have to remember to sign up myself. So anyways, check it out. Love you all. Have a blessed day. And thank you for being here with me today. Namaste.